Bonjour à tous! Hello everybody! Welcome to my channel. I'm very happy that you are here. Today, I will tell you 12 foods you must try in Paris. I had a hard time choosing only 12 because there are obviously way more than 12 great foods in Paris. So, I selected these 12 foods very carefully, hoping that you will try them when you go to Paris next time. Are you ready to get to know the 12 must-try foods in Paris? Let's go! Allons-y! Have you heard of fromage blanc? If fromage blanc is translated from word to word, it is white cheese in English from which you can't guess what it is apart from its color. Fromage blanc is a fresh cheese originating from the north of France and southern Belgium. Fromage frais, fresh cheese, differs from fromage blanc. According to French legislation, fromage frais must contain live cultures when sold, whereas with the fromage blanc, fermentation has been halted. Fromage blanc is a creamy soft cheese made with milk and cream. Cream improves the flavor and also increases the fat content. It has a semi-fluid and creamy consistency that is somewhat similar to Greek cheese but more velvety and flavorful. Fromage blanc can be served as a breakfast or a dessert, often with fruit or marmalade. You must try it because I know that you will love it. Fjord, Jockey, and Calais are major names of fromage blanc, but each supermarket chain has their house brand fromage blanc and they are good too. Petit Suisse is a fromage frais. It's an unsalted, smooth, and creamy fresh cheese with a texture closer to a very thick yogurt than a typical cheese. Since it is not a farm cheese, it is usually packaged in a small cylinder-shaped plastic container. You flip it and shake the container upside down so that it keeps its cylinder form when it comes out. Voila! Then you remove the paper wrapping and enjoy. Pain raisin, also called escargot, is a spiral-shaped pastry eaten for breakfast or snack. Pain raisin translates as raisin bread, but it is made with a leavened butter pastry like croissant or pain au chocolat. Escargot means a snail, of which name is given because of its spiral shape. Along with croissant, brioche, chausson aux pommes, and pain au chocolat, escargot is categorized as French viennoiserie. A well-made escargot has a crisp, flaky golden brown crust that crackles as you bite into it, and inside you will find soft, light multi-layers. You will taste rich butter, soft custard cream, and sweet raisin or nutty pistachio. It is not greasy at all. It is my favorite of all the viennoiserie. Rich in flavor, and it satisfies your sweet tooth and craving for bread. You will be pleased with its light crispness as well. Oh, by the way, viennoiserie are French baked goods made from puff pastry or leavened dough like bread. Eggs and butter give them a richer, sweeter character. Ironically, these famous French baked goods are originated from Vienna, Austria, from which the name viennoiserie is derived from. The popularity of Viennese-style baked goods in France began in the first half of 19th century. However, the use of puff pastry came later, and puff pastry method is French, not Viennese. And now here it is, escargot, the real snail. Escargot is a snail served in its shell or without its shell. Of course, there are snails in water, but land snails are the ones sourced for escargot. It usually has a lot of butter on it, so that is the primary flavor. Texture and taste-wise, I would say it's most similar to clams. Escargot dishes are typically served as an appetizer in the sauce made with butter, garlic, and parsley. You dip bread in the sauce to get every last drop of sauce. All the foods I recommend here are the must-try foods in Paris, but I can't emphasize enough how delicious French butter is. I can't eat a piece of French butter by itself. I'm not joking, it is that good. Of course, it melts in your mouth, filling your palate with a soft, creamy, and rich taste. Oh, and with just a hint of sweetness. You know, that is why calling a dish buttery is the highest compliment. But French butter has its own flavor not comparable to anything else. Personally, I think it tastes so good because of French milk that has all its own rich flavor, and that is why all the French dairy products made from French milk, e.g., yogurt, fromage blanc, cheese, and butter, are famously delicious. Then, inevitably, tartine would be the next item you must try in Paris. Tartine is a piece of bread spread with butter and jam or marmalade, or chocolate spread. Well, tartine in English could mean any open sandwich topped with a variety of toppings. But in France, it almost exclusively means a slice of bread spread with butter and jam or marmalade. As it is a well-known fact that French baguette is delicious and French butter is scrumptious, so they are just delightful when combined and eaten together. Frozen dessert and ice cream. Ice cream, gelato, and sorbet are all very much loved all over the world, but there are so many different and authentic flavors at glaceries or ice cream shops in Paris. And because there are so many of them, I listed and introduced the 10 ice cream places you must try. Please check your options of frozen dessert in Paris in my ice cream episode. Galette de Sarrasin is a thin buckwheat crepe from Brittany. There are two types of crepes: sweet crepes, crêpes sucrées in French, and savory ones, crêpes salées or galette de Sarrasin in French. Galettes are often served with a wide variety of fillings such as ham, egg, cheese, vegetables, and meat. They are eaten as a meal. A very thin galette is crispy on the edge and softly hugging the fillings in the middle. A lot of restaurants serve galette in France. Also, there are many crêperies where you can enjoy a lunch or a dinner with a galette de Sarrasin as a main dish and a sweet crepe for a dessert. Cidre is a good drink to have with this meal. You can also buy packaged plain crepes and galettes at a grocery store if you want to make your own at your accommodation. You can see what you need to do on your first day in Paris in my first Paris video. Choucroute is a dish prepared with a sauerkraut with the sausages and other salted meats and charcuterie and potatoes. Although sauerkraut or finely cut pickled cabbage is traditionally considered German, when Alsace and Lorraine region became part of France in 1648, sauerkraut has since been widely adopted in France and this delicious choucroute dish was created. You find 3 types of sausage in a traditional choucroute. Salted cuts of pork is included as well. It's not a difficult dish, but all these sausages are hard to find anywhere else other than in France. It's such a hearty filling dish. Of course, it's delicious. It's also very peculiarly French. I totally recommend it. You can have it at a restaurant or find it at a deli, charcuterie shop, or packages chucrut at any grocery store. Boudin blanc is in the blood sausage group except that it does not call for blood. The lack of blood is what gives the meat its famous whitish color. So, Boudin blanc is a French white sausage made of pork or chicken or veal without the blood. It's a very common and popular food you can buy at any deli or supermarket, and you can often find it on the menu at a restaurant. The traditional Boudin blanc is a moist sausage. It really has a mild and delicious flavor that you can't find anywhere else, so you must try it. Dijon mustard, or moutarde Dijon in French, is a traditional mustard of France, named after the city of Dijon in Burgundy, France. Dijon was the center of mustard making already in the Middle Ages. Dijon mustard has a sharp, tangy, and intense flavor. It is made with brown and black mustard seeds and white wine. Foie gras means fat liver in French. It is a specialty food product made of the fattened liver of a duck or goose. Foie gras has an amazing buttery flavor and incredibly smooth texture. It really is the ultimate pâté. I would say that foie gras tastes so good thanks to the high amount of fat content in the liver. Fat means flavor, like butter, right? Oh, of course, you can have fresh foie gras as well. Then it is cooked before it is served and it has a tender meaty texture which is different from pâté or mousse type foie gras. It is usually served as an appetizer or starter accompanied with the toasted bread and confit de figue. Spread or cut a piece and mount it on a piece of toasted bread and add fig jam on top of it. You will experience an amazing sensation on your palate. Foie gras is no other than meat-flavored butter. You must try. And the item you must absolutely try in Paris is champagne. Champagne in French. Well, I know that it's a drink, but I could not exclude it from this must-try list. Champagne is a sparkling wine originated and produced in the Champagne region of France under the rules that demand specific vineyard practices, including sourcing of grapes exclusively from designated places within Champagne, specific grape pressing method, and secondary fermentation of the wine in the bottle to cause carbonation. To clarify, all champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne, because sparkling wine can only be called champagne if it is made in the Champagne region in northern France. Champagne tends to have a more full-bodied flavor than sparkling wines because of the aging process. The complicated and elaborate steps of champagne production makes it more expensive than still wine in general. But in France, champagne is so much more affordable. You can find a bottle of champagne at 20 euros in France, which is next to impossible anywhere else. You will taste a burst of citrus, peach, and grape, of course, when you first sip champagne. I love its fruity effervescence and crispness. I try to have at least a glass of champagne every day when I'm in France. If you haven't tried champagne yet, Paris is the best place to try your first coupe de champagne or a glass of champagne. Or, if you already like champagne, France is the location where you got to embrace this opportunity to enjoy it in full force. That's all for today from me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back with more useful and interesting information about Paris next week. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. I very much appreciate it. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my weekly videos. Thanks for watching.